Hey everyone, aside from our usual language, we talk a lot about domestic violence in this episode. I did put a trigger warning before the segment, so you might want to listen for that. If this is something that triggers you, please feel free to skip the episode. If you or someone you love is experiencing domestic violence, please reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline 24/7. Their number is 1-800-799-7233. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Hi everyone, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we go out for a bachelorette party, get trashed, call up the person that we screwed over, and rub it in their faces.
Oh, poor girl. I felt so bad for her.
Olivia is not here for Emma's bullshit.
Emma is the worst. She's the worst friend ever.
I love her, but she's the worst.
She's the worst. I mean, I love her too, but
Yeah.
you know, in the most endearing way possible, she's the worst friend ever.
She is me, I'm her. I would do the same exact thing. Because
Would
I get
you?
all lovey when I'm like drunk, so I would be just I would think of it like a gesture of love that I'm reaching out to Olivia.
But
But
would
really,
you?
it's like you're rubbing it in her face.
But would you have gotten so trashed that you show up to the wedding that you're officiating? Or no, you're a witness to. Like, she didn't even show up to help her get ready.
Yeah, I think Gabrielle was feeling the same though. So they were like same.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think she was pretty upset that Emma wasn't there to help her. They were running late because she was late.
Yeah, and then she was like driving 900 miles an hour to the jail.
They're going to get arrested.
Then they could get married in prison.
Exactly. Maybe to each other, but...
All right, guys, my name's Amy Archer. I'm here at my noodle staff, and I want to just warn everyone that there is mention of domestic violence in this episode. So all the trigger warnings around this, it's some real heavy and scary stuff when we start talking about Aaron and Michael. So, I will also give you a warning before we get into their segment. So if you want to skip it, you can. Okay. So we're gonna start on a light note.
Okay.
And we're gonna start with, again, not much happened.
I know.
We're gonna start with Craig and Jessica because
Craig.
I don't know. There's not much.
Someone please tell me why his sister shaved her head. Why did she shave her head?
I didn't know it was her.
I knew.
I saw on the preview the picture of her, and I was like, who's this person now?
Yeah, I knew it was her, but not that there's anything wrong with the shaved head, but it just seemed like a very Britney Spears kind of, look, I shaved my head move. I didn't understand what was happening.
I love Micah, and I feel so bad for her.
Me too.
Let's talk about it. Okay.
All right.
So Jessica says Craig's been out for 2 months now. We see him cutting the grass with this little, does he have a push mower? Yes. We see him cutting the grass with the little push mower. And she says, he's really struggling to make things right with Micah. Micah shows up and she's gone full Britney Spears.
What? Yeah, and there was she was just like, look what I did. And then immediately was like, I've been blaming myself the whole time. I'm like, wait, can we go back to the shaved head, please?
I feel like, and this is only, I'm just throwing it out there, it's still in its working stage. I feel like I need a segment on the pod called Kids These Days. And I invite a Gen Zer on, like maybe one of my daughters, to explain something to me.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Get down with that. I think we should do. Well, I mean, I would be totally cool with that
because I feel like I could be like an old lady around these things. Like maybe shaving your head is in now.
That's what I'm saying, but I needed more.
Don't know.
I needed to understand. Just don't know.
So they're talking about the last time that Craig went back to jail, and Micah blames herself and says
she was like 9.
She was like 9 years old.
Yeah.
This family needs therapy.
Big time.
Craig needs therapy. Everybody on the show needs therapy.
Correct.
But Micah and Craig especially need it together.
Yeah, they need family therapy.
A therapist would help them learn how to talk to each other about these things.
Mhm.
So it's not necessarily that therapist is gonna come in and be like, "Micah, you're right, and
And
Craig, you're
yeah, yeah,
wrong."
yeah. No.
But, like, a therapist could facilitate this conversation, and
Right.
that's what needs to
Of
happen here.
course, of course, of course.
Because what's happening is Micah is putting all of this on Craig, like, "I felt abandoned, I felt this, I felt that," and he doesn't know what to do with
No, he
that.
doesn't, not because he's even like, "Oh, that's" what does he say? "I don't know why," or "Don't feel that way." Like,
Yeah,
it was
he's
just
like
not very profound.
he doesn't know what to do with it.
I
Like, the
know.
last thing that any of these prisoners need when they first come out is this guilt and shame, like, he doesn't have the tools to deal with this.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Alright, so Micah's crying, and she says she stopped going to school, she wouldn't eat, she was angry at the
Mm.
world, and it was really bad, and he is like he doesn't know what to do,
Mhm,
but then he
mhm.
does hug her,
Yeah, he did.
and he just says to her, like, "It's not your fault. It's not your fault. This was all my fault."
Yeah.
Then he tells the camera that this broke his heart, and he tells Micah he's gonna be a father now, and so he's gonna be there for her and the baby.
Mm.
And he tells the camera that his wife and Micah don't really believe him when he says he's not going back. That's a loaded statement.
Why yeah, right? What
Yeah.
like, why? He must he do you think something happened that we just don't know about? And he like
Don't forget, he has reoffended quite a bit.
yeah, I know. That's true.
I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
But Jessica says she hopes the baby will be enough to stop Craig from reoffending. That's not the reason to have a baby. I
No,
can tell
no,
you
ma'am.
that.
No, no, no. It is
But
not.
it's, his behavior is not within her control. I don't know. Like they didn't not plan this baby. So, like, I don't know if
I
this was a good
know.
move.
I know. I know.
Maybe give the dude, like, a year or 2 out of prison?
Yeah, not like 2 weeks.
Right.
Pretty
We see
bad.
this on Love After Lockup a lot. Like,
Oh.
a lot of times, the women who are in love with these guys have kids already, and they, like,
Ah.
they want the guy to come out and be dad. And, like, it's
Oh.
just too much, especially if you're
Yeah.
in prison a long time, like, it's too much.
Yeah. No, I could totally see that. I mean, dude, I don't wanna be a parent to somebody's kids, and I'm not in prison.
Right, I was just gonna say, there's a lot of step parents who struggle with that kind of thing who aren't
Yeah.
coming from a life of imprisonment.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Alright, so now we're gonna go over to Gabrielle. Gabrielle!
Gabrielle.
It's her wedding day and she is hung over. Have you ever been this hungover? What's the
How
worst? Do you remember your worst hangover?
of course.
I think mine was, oh my god, I'll never forget. Okay.
Uh-huh. I'll tell you
Mine
mine too.
mine was my graduating banquet when I went for my MFA program.
Oh.
And I don't even remember that night. Either that or my divorce party. They were both real bad.
Ooh, okay, so
And yeah.
yeah, so mine was I was about 18 at a party of somebody, like, I don't even remember their names, and someone dared me to do as many shots of Southern Comfort as I could,
Mm,
and I made
mhm,
it to, like, 29, and then I
mhm.
blacked out, and I woke up in my own vomit in a saucer sled in someone's front yard.
Mm,
Like, do you remember
lovely.
those big round saucer
Yes,
sleds?
yes,
They
yes.
just threw me outside in the sled. It was winter, by the way, I will have you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I lost, and I'm not this is not an exaggeration, like 3 days of my life.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Like, when you think about I have teenage daughters, and the thought of them doing that horrifies me.
It's horrifying. The
'Cause
shit
I'm
we
like,
did.
anything could happen to you.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you
I
watch a
know.
lot of these crime shows, and it's all about risk behavior, right? Like,
Yes.
that's risk behavior.
Yes.
And I did it too. It's awful
Yes.
and
It's
terrifying.
bad.
Okay.
Well,
S
you know.
so she's hungover and it's her wedding day.
Mm.
And apparently she called him while she was drunk last night and was talking about his D. She just wanted his D.
Oh, wanted
Mhm,
the D.
mhm.
I have a question. Are you allowed to use the phone whenever you want in prison? Or
They
is
get
it like
certain
a
times.
schedule?
They
Like
get
I
certain times,
okay,
yeah.
I know I'm not being an asshole. I genuinely just didn't know. I'm
Yeah.
just
No, they
curious.
can't use it they can't use it whenever.
Okay.
They get, like, a certain amount of times a day or whatever. So that's
Okay.
why when they do call, you'll see these people never miss a call
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. Okay.
So, she's kinda pissed because Emma was supposed to get over here and help her get ready, and Emma's nowhere to be
I
found.
know, it's sad. I
Mhm.
felt so bad for her.
So Emma finally calls, says, I've been throwing up all morning, so now I'm eating some dry cereal to calm my tummy.
You know who she reminds me of? Do
Who?
you remember the super nanny lady? That's
Yes.
who she
Yes.
reminds me of. It's
Yes.
been driving me nuts for weeks, and I
She does look like
finally
her. Joe? Is
yeah,
that her name?
I think that might have been her name, Nanny Jo yes, doesn't
Yes.
she? Like, I just mean,
She
like, her
does.
face physically, like,
She
looks
does.
like her.
A lot, yes.
Yeah, okay, I'm not totally nuts.
How about
It just popped right into my head, though, and I went flailing armed like a psychopath.
how about last night? I could not remember what day it was. Like, I was trying
Oh,
real hard to
man.
remember the day that it was, because don't forget, guys, I'm unemployed now.
Unemployed, hashtag
So I
unemployed.
was like, "What day is it?" Right? And I'm trying really hard, and then finally I come up with, I think I said Monday, and Timmy was like, "No, it's Tuesday." But okay. And so I'll have like moments like that, right? And then this morning my mom's like, "Oh, when your sister lived in Fleetville and lived in the country, she had a dog. This was 25 years ago at least." I'm like, "Oh, Hera." I remembered the dog's name. It wasn't even Jenny's dog.
Oh my god.
I'm like, "How could I remember a dog from 25 years ago that I barely knew?"
Listen,
But can't figure out what day it is.
I have never met a dog I didn't remember,
Well, I don't even really know this dog.
but
It's
it's a
weird.
dog.
It's weird.
I love dogs.
Yeah, she does look like Joe. You're right, Super
Right?
Nanny.
Sorry, that was my
No,
little
she
side note.
does. So she gets there just in the nick of time. They're heading out and they are late. And even the producer's like, "Are you guys going to make it?" And Emma's like, "I'm pitting my pedal to the metal." I can't do it. It's coming out real bad. They get married. He writes her a very sweet note. Jamal writes Gabrielle a
Yes.
very sweet note about believing in him. And she's super excited.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Let's scoot over to our boy,
Hattie McCray.
Hottie McCrimes and Svea.
Mm.
So
Svea.
Joseph calls her. Here's how this show fucks with you. In the description, it was like Svea gets a disturbing phone call. And I'm thinking
Oh,
it's the phone call of when he
he's
was screaming, "I'm getting stabbed," or
yeah, yes,
whatever.
yeah. Oh,
No,
that's right.
no, no. It's the phone call that says, "I quit my job to become an
Oh,
artist."
Amy. What? We need to we
I'm
need
kind of here for
I
this.
know, I know. I know, and I was too, but all I could think of is what is he gonna do about his
Oh,
apartment? Is he gonna
I
just go back
know.
to DeMarcus's basement with
I
his
know.
art? I mean,
I
he could
know.
at least put his art on the walls, but come on.
He
I want him out of the basement.
he's in a bagel shop. He's telling her he
Mm.
decided to quit his job. Now he says, "It was a good job, but I wasn't pursuing my dreams." And in a confessional, he starts crying and he said
Oh,
he deserves the right to follow his dream and make his art and sell it. And she's pissed off because he didn't run this past her.
all right.
When I saw him in that confessional, it's a diary cam and he's
Yeah,
saying, like, "I'm pursuing my dream and I don't want to work for anyone else anymore, but no one believes in me." I was like, "Oh,
I know, but Amy,
I know. I know. I know."
I
He
don't
has to
even
get
have
a
words.
job.
He had right. I mean, he has to be able to support himself at least.
Yes.
At
Yes.
the bare minimum, he needs to
Yes.
be able to support himself. He's going to lose that apartment, and I'm concerned.
You know what would be really good career for him?
Hmm.
If he could make a career teaching art to prisoners.
Yeah, that's
Like
a
going
great
in, because
idea.
I did that. I
I
taught poetry and
I
it was
know.
amazing.
And I
But
learned about that experience on this podcast. I had no
yeah,
idea you did that.
yeah, but he not only is a talented artist, but like he knows what these men are going through
Right.
and can
Yes.
really connect with them and relate to them. He
Yes.
would be really good at
He
that.
would, and I love that for him.
Mhm.
But my friend he needs to have a job, Amy.
Yeah, I don't know if you could make money doing that. Like I was doing it as part of my teaching job. So I
Exactly.
was
But
getting paid separately, but I
s
know that there's like Lackawanna County, for example, our county,
mhm,
has grants where they pay artists to go into schools, maybe
mhm.
something like that.
I know, I'm just saying,
He
I
needs to
under
at least work 20 hours a week. I understand what
yes,
you're
I
saying, yes.
understand where he's coming from. He's been in prison forever, whatever,
Mhm.
and he wants to live his dream, but you know what? So do the fucking rest of us, my friend. But
Yeah.
it's just like, that's just I feel like he's not really living in reality,
Yeah, maybe not.
you know?
Maybe not.
I'm a little
Mhm.
concerned. Like, if I were Survey, I would be concerned by this.
Yeah, I mean, we would be responding the same way if it was anybody. Like, his
Yes.
prison background has nothing to do with
No.
this. Like, you
No.
need a job to support yourself before you decide to launch an art career.
Right.
But
Right.
maybe the point that he's trying to make and he's just not articulating it is, I was working 12 hours a day in this factory and I was losing, cuz I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Like when you're a creative person and you're working long hours and it's
I know.
sucking the creativity out of you,
I know, I
you
understand.
you really need to honor your art and make space for that. So maybe he just needs a different job.
I understand that, but we
Yeah,
don't quit.
right.
So, like, I get that she's pissed. I mean, I wanna hate on her because she's carrying on about him not being tidy and he catfished her and all the things, but
Mhm.
I have to
Mhm.
stand with her on this one. Have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, she and her mom are sitting in some beautiful garden with
I
a ton of birds
know.
around them. Like, where is this
I don't
place?
know. Well, you would hate it. You hate birds.
I do hate birds, but I did like all the flowers.
Okay. Well, I would
It
enjoy the
and it
birds.
looked like there was a pizza on the table, maybe,
I mean, throw a
that I
pizza
was
in
here
front of
for.
me anywhere and I'm
Mhm.
good. Yeah.
And so they're talking about Joseph quitting his job, and mom is like, I don't get it. Like, can't he do the art stuff outside of his job? And
Yeah.
Savea's like, I don't know. This is a nightmare. And then she tells the camera, he catfished her into thinking he's an adult, and he's clearly
Oh.
not.
I mean,
That's it. Like, that's it.
that's it. That was literally it. That was
So
it.
stupid. So
Uh,
stupid. Okay.
what do we think about her freaking out about him not being tidy? I need to talk about this. And I have to,
It's dumb.
it's dumb, right?
You're not even there.
Right.
I I don't know. It's just weird. It's
Yeah, it's super weird.
of
But
all the things, like, that's the
so
thing you're gonna pick up on? But I don't know. I mean, he's living in one room,
I know.
and then he moves to an apartment that's like a studio apartment.
I
Like, how
know.
much of a mess could this place be?
I mean, I
And what is
did,
she really seeing it over the phone?
well, I did catch because he was panning around the apartment and I
Mhm.
did, it was kind of messy. Like there was stuff
But is
everywhere.
he in
But
the process of moving in?
I mean, it didn't appear that way. There were
Ugh.
lots of dishes in the sink. There was like laundry and stuff all over the floor. I saw it. I mean,
The
I wouldn't have been able to live that way, but if he was living there without me, I wouldn't give a
Well, that's what
shit.
I'm saying. The only reason I would freak out about that is if when I was walking my foot in the door, if that was
Yes.
still going on,
Yes, but
then I'd
that
be
was
like,
what
"Mm."
that's the point that I was trying to get at though. Like what why does she care? Or is she looking at that as another sign of him not having any ambition to better himself?
I think
I don't
she's
know.
I think she's coming into this with, like, a
Yeah.
preconceived idea that he's a man child,
Okay.
and
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
he probably
to some
is
extent he is. He's
because
stunted
stunted.
at whatever age he
Yeah.
went into the prison
Yep,
system.
yep, yep. Yeah.
All right, Olivia and KJ, again, a big nothing burger here. It's the morning of her wedding. She's alone. She's sad. She talks about the phone call from Emma, how it really pissed her off.
Yeah. And I felt bad for her. I would have been pissed too.
Yeah, me
That would
too.
have upset me too.
It would have hurt my feelings.
Yeah, for sure.
She goes, she gets married. She's all excited.
It happens
The
in
the
like
of-
3
the
seconds.
officiant was very nice, a
Yeah,
very
he
nice
was
man.
kind. He seemed really kind.
Later, and at first I was like, because I want to officiate weddings.
I
I was
know.
like,
I would love to do that too.
should this be what I do? And then I'm like, I know me. I'll get sucked in. I'll be like offering to help pay for their first apartment.
Oh
I
my
can't
god, I
do it.
hate
I
you.
can't do it.
I
Can't do
literally
it.
hate you. So here's what we do. We go into business. I'll be the officiant and you can just write the vows.
Okay.
So then
Okay.
like I won't let you get emotionally attached.
Okay. Because that's my problem. I told you about when
I
I was
know.
grading papers from prisoners and I was crying all the
I
time and
can't.
writing them
You
back like,
guys,
please email me at this number, whatever.
when you get out of prison,
Here's
here's
my
my
credit card.
address. I know.
I can't do it. I'm a little bit of a bleeding heart in that
I
way. I
know.
can't. So later, Olivia goes to meet up with Emma
Mhm.
and she's not happy. Not
No,
happy.
she's not.
And they're both in pink for some reason, which I didn't catch. I'm like, are you on Married at First Sight? What's happening? I don't know.
Powerpuff, activate.
Olivia confronts her about the FaceTime, the drunk
Mhm.
FaceTime.
Mhm.
And Emma's like, oh my God, I had so much fun. It was so much fun, blah, blah, blah. And Olivia's like, I'm telling you that hurts my feelings.
I know.
Olivia starts to cry, and Emma's like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
You think?
And then Emma says, she was all alone when she got married. So she understands, and now she feels bad, and she's in the parking lot, and the producers are like, "Why don't you go in and give her a hug?" The producers get real involved in this show.
They do. I noticed that too. They
They do.
really do.
Like, on Married at First Sight,
Yeah,
when we saw the producer talking to
to Emily in the
Emily, that was,
bathroom,
like, the first time.
like, ever, of all time ever. Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So Olivia says she's glad that Emma realized how upset she was, and they make up and everything's fine. Hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. Trigger warning, guys, we're going to be talking about domestic violence. All right.
Oh, Amy, I'm so triggered by him.
Aaron and Michael.
Aw.
And the thing about Michael is he knows he's dangerous,
I know.
which is even scarier. All right. So Aaron tells us that last night she left the house because she found Michael was on drugs.
Mm.
And somehow he found out where she was.
Oh.
And he followed her there. And she had to call the police. And
She said he got physical.
She called his parole officer, and his parole officer's like, "You're going back, buddy."
That was a baller move, though. I'm really proud of her for doing
Me too.
that.
Me too. You could tell she was terrified.
I know.
He's a big guy.
I know. I'd be scared of him too.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So she calls her mom, Marty, and she's like, "This was an epic failure. Like, it's bad."
And I love her mom.
Mom was so perfect.
Perfect, right?
Perfect. Perfect.
I love her.
She's like, and Aaron says, "I'm coming home." And Mom's like, "Look, you believed in him. Like, that's just who you are. You have an open heart. You're a generous person.
I know.
You were fooled, but you gave him the benefit of the doubt." Like, she was just so perfect in that moment.
She said all of the right things and then some.
Yep. Aaron's just sobbing the entire time.
I felt so bad.
I was almost crying. I'm not going to lie.
I know. I was too.
So later, Aaron tells us that Michael's being charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and aggravated menacing.
I don't even know what that means.
Now producers get Michael on the phone.
Oh, in prison, no less.
In prison. And he's like, you could tell he's like antsy. He's either withdrawing or he's still high. I don't know what's going on.
Or he's just freaking the hell out.
He's pacing around. Yeah, he's
weird.
like, he's not in a good place. And he's like, "I'm not mad at Aaron." Okay, that's good.
Thanks for letting us know.
He's like, "I just fucked up. I fucked up." And he says, "I'm a liar. I'm manipulative. I've done this my whole life because I don't want people to see the real me." Like, this guy needs a ton of therapy. There is some original sin that has been committed to him, or that he did, some kind of wound in there.
Yeah.
That you would need intensive therapy to even get at it. I don't know.
I agree. What do you think he means, though, that he doesn't want people to see the real him?
He hates himself. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's something in him that happened when he was little or whatever, that he carries shame or guilt or, you know what I mean? It's something. There's something in there.
You're probably right.
Some kind of wound. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
No, same. I don't know either.
I'm just, he really hates himself.
I just didn't know if it was he hates himself and doesn't want people to see that, or he hates being vulnerable. Like, I couldn't tell what he was trying to get at.
I don't know. That's a good point.
I couldn't figure it out. That's why I was asking.
He just has a lot of shame and anger. Yeah. And he says, like, "I'm angry all the time and I don't know how to control it." I know. Something happened to this kid.
I think absolutely something had to happen to him.
We would have to dig into the family of origin.
Did you see that stuff on, spoiler alert, on
with the sister?
The sister. What the heck?
Yeah, she's like, "Michael's a monster. He's always treated our mother terribly.
He's exactly what you think he is," she said.
Yeah, wow. And she said he stole a lot from the mother, which is addict behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's just a sad situation all around.
It's sad.
And he is exactly where he needs to be.
In prison.
Yeah. Yes. Getting therapy, but in prison.
I agree. And the thing is, like, I don't even know, could somebody like him be rehabbed? Do you think? I don't know. Yeah. Like, I'm just saying.
I do. I think I believe that. Like, he hasn't killed anybody.
No,
do you know
what
I mean?
I just mean he spent most of his life in prison. Like, I'm just saying, like, I feel like
that's a fault of the U.S. justice system.
Right.
Like,
but uh,
And I only
that's
say that because
mhm.
he was probably imprisoned at a very young age for something stupid
Stupid, yeah.
for too long of a time
Right.
without any proper support. That's all I mean.
Right.
If you commit a crime, of course you should pay the price. I'm
Right.
not saying that.
Right. And I guess what I mean by when I say, "Do you think he could be rehabbed?" I just mean, do you think I just wonder, is he one of those people that this is so ingrained in him because he's lived most of his life this way? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're talking
I
about
just mean
like Brooks in Shawshank Redemption.
yes.
Like when he got out of prison at 60, he
Yes.
didn't know what to do.
But that's yes, that's
Yeah.
kind of what I mean.
I mean, I think Michael's young enough that with the proper support and work, he could be. I mean, I believe anybody could be
Yeah, I
rehabilitated
know, you're
unless you're like
right.
a serial killer, serial rapist, or something crazy.
Yeah.
I don't believe those people can be rehabilitated.
Yeah.
It is the view of Amy Archer that the Night Stalker could not be
A
rehabilitated.
night stalker. I mean, speaking
However,
like I'm coming at this from someone who's been in a relationship with somebody that's an
right,
addict and
right, and
down the
abusive.
road of the abuse and all of the like
Yes,
this hit hard for me, real
yeah.
hard.
But don't you
Um
think that with early intervention and a lot of therapy and a lot of work that the person in your situation may have had a chance?
maybe
Yeah,
I don't know. That's why it's hard for me to make a call. I don't
right.
know. I really don't know.
I know it's tough, like, because you want to believe that everybody is worthy
Yes.
and capable of
And like
rehabilitation, but
innately good in some way.
yes.
Yeah, but it makes me like it really does make me wonder if he's really capable of 100% living in the real world. Like I feel
He
like
might
he's
just
somebody that needs to be in like a halfway house or
right, like, he
something.
just might need a long-term
That's a yes.
guardrail
Okay.
situation
So
where yes, where he
that's
has some
sort of
kinda
right.
mhm.
And I guess that's more along the lines of what I'm getting at. Like I just don't think he's ready to go from that thrown right into the real world and
Right,
everything's gonna and expected to be normal.
and I think part of the problem is with a lot of these prisoners is and the women too, they think the woman could do that.
I know.
And
I
that
know.
is a recipe for disaster. Like, if you're
Yes.
going into a relationship, just like they tell you with sobriety, like, if you're
Yeah.
becoming sober for somebody else, you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Yep.
That could be your impetus to
Yep.
bring you to the moment of
Sure,
sobriety.
sure, sure.
But no, like, you have to get sober for yourself, just
Yeah.
like you have to, stay out of prison for yourself.
Ugh.
And it shouldn't be on somebody else.
I know, but I do feel I mean, we do see that I think a lot of these women are
Yeah,
that way, think that
yeah, they think they can
they
save
can
them.
save them.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it never works,
Oh, no. No,
but
no, no, I'm not
I
either.
believe
I'm
it
not
doesn't work
either.
most of the time.
Right.
So he says these are his mistakes. He needs to live with them. And he says he got arrested because he was high and he became a danger to other people. And his parole officer knew it. And that's why he put him here. He's being charged with all misdemeanors, which total to 6 months. But Aaron says because he's a repeat offender, he's looking at up to 10 years.
Mm.
Michael says he was using a little bit when he first got out, but it got a lot worse. And he says he's so angry, he doesn't know what to do with it. He says he was high
Mm.
the whole time, even the day he got out of prison. We see him roller skating.
Yeah.
And this just takes away the
All of that
beautiful shine of that moment when
I
we thought it was
know.
so innocent that
I
he was roller
know.
skating to reclaim his youth.
I know.
Mm.
Remember? And she was like, "So I'm so proud of you."
Yeah, and he was like flying
Flying
around like a
around.
little eagle,
I
like
know. Just soaring in that
yep.
rink,
Yep.
soaring in that circle.
Now we know he had been shooting up meth in the bathroom right before.
Yikes. Crazy,
Kind of
right?
kills it for you. So he admits that he put his hands on Aaron and he was aggressive. Now we get to her.
Mm,
This is dark, guys.
it's hard.
She says he told her he would knock her the fuck out. So they got into a fight. He said, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. He swung at her in the face this time. Did you notice she said that? She goes, he
Yeah,
swung at my face this time. So he's hit her
I
before.
caught that. Yeah, I caught that.
She ducked and he started laughing. Ugh.
That's terrifying.
Aaron says, I see now the manipulator that he is. He made me feel small. He made me feel hopeless. And then she cries and says that her heart is here, but
I
she needs to
know.
go back to Australia, and she said she misses her son, and that's all she wants right now.
Hmm.
That's where we leave them. Oh, and
Whoa.
then Michael's like, "I don't think we could come back from this."
Oh,
Yeah, no.
really?
You're
No,
not coming
sir.
back from this, dude.
Yeah. Let's hope you don't get out again. That's
No.
terrible. But like,
No.
you
He
know,
needs he
he
needs
needs
help.
serious help. He can't just
Mhm.
be let out of there.
No, no,
He
no,
needs
no.
help.
Yeah.
He needs help.
I could watch a show like couples therapy is our favorite show
Yeah,
on
I
earth.
mean, that's the greatest thing that ever
Mhm.
happened, ever,
I
of all
need
time.
Orna to get in to work with some of these prisoners.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god, wouldn't you watch a
Amy.
show where a therapist is working with prisoners?
Yes, a bazillion, yes,
Is there a show
100
like
times over.
this?
I don't know, but I think we need to call Orna and tell her
You know what?
we have a great
I
idea.
I'm too protective of my little songbird Janet to send her into a men's
Yes,
prison,
no.
but I need to send somebody in there,
But I
and we
mean,
need to
I
watch.
think Orna can handle herself.
Orna can.
Yeah.
Yeah, Janet, I think, is too
I
precious.
don't know Janet, so I
She's
can't
too precious.
comment.
She can't do it.
Janet will protect our little bird Janet, but
But I feel like
Orna
Orna could kick some ass
could get
if
right
she
in
needed
there.
to.
Oh my
Mhm.
god, that would be incredible. I would watch Orna clean her house. Like, I don't care. I love her, so I could watch her do anything.
Ah.
She just does everything with such ease
Do you
and
remember
such
that husband who
grace.
was like a total narcissist and she shut him
Yes,
right down? And he hated
Amy.
her. He
I
hated
know.
her.
I love her.
Mhm.
Oh, I love
Guys, if
her.
you don't know what we're talking about, couples therapy it was on Showtime,
Showtime.
which is now Paramount Plus, I think, or
Is I don't
something.
even know. I can't keep up.
Look
Maybe.
for it. It's called Couples Therapy. The
Oh, it's the
therapist's name is
best.
Orna da 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 da
I
something I
know.
forget.
I forget too.
She's brilliant.
It's truly one of the greatest shows I've ever seen.
It's real, just so you know, it's reality. It's real people,
Mhm.
real couples
Mhm.
getting therapy,
In
and
New
it's
York City.
fascinating.
It's fascinating.
Fascinating.
Couples
Mhm.
from, like, all walks of life, all
Yep.
different
Yep.
backgrounds,
All
all
different
sexual
sexualities.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's the
Yep.
greatest show that ever was.
It's amazing. I love it.
I binged, like, every single one of those episodes in, like, a weekend.
I forget how I found out about it. Oh, you know how I learned about it? Jake from Reality Gaze was always talking about it.
Oh,
And then I
okay.
found it, yes, and I was
Oh, it's
hooked.
great. It's
Mhm, it's
great.
great. Also, I will tell you, just because 'cause we're talking about things that we're watching, I'm watching True Detective,
Yeah, right. Are you
Night
enjoying
Country.
it?
I'm loving it.
Good.
I
I
feel
haven't
like you haven't watched it?
yeah, well, I watched the first episode, I just haven't gone back to it.
I feel like it's very like, they're going back to the first season where there's,
Mhm.
like, this inkling or feel of the supernatural.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I've
I
heard
kinda
that.
like that, like, I
Okay.
like that about the first season, which had my boyfriend, Matthew
Matthew
McConaughey, in it.
McConaughey.
Yeah.
Alright,
Mhm.
alright, alright.
Alright, alright, alright. So, yeah, I'm watching that, but anyway.
Okay, cool.
Prison Brides, I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna get season 2 out of this.
I don't know either.
It's
I
not
don't
really
know.
it's a little underwhelming.
A little bit.
Like, I'm interested,
Me too, and that's the thing, I'm
but the pace
invested.
is too
The
slow. That's
pace is
what it
slow.
is. Yeah.
I'm actually pretty invested in all of these people at this point. Like,
Me too.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm invested.
Me
They're
too.
just
I just
not
feel like there's a lot of filler in a lot of
yeah.
episodes. Like,
Yeah.
instead of watching, Craig cut the grass, like, can we have a longer conversation between him and Micah where maybe he's talking about some
Yeah.
of his childhood trauma, or I don't know,
Yeah,
like,
it's
just
just the
something.
pacing is off or something, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So next time on,
Bum, bum,
Gabriella's mom
bum.
and sister arrive and they're screaming, crying, like, "What have you done? What have you done?"
Oh,
And
no.
mom is like, "I haven't stopped crying since Thursday."
Oh,
And I
her
can relate
poor
to
mom.
those.
I mean, yeah, I get it. As a mom, of
Yes,
course.
yes. Emma gets home and is waiting to see if Kurt is gonna be paroled, her man. Craig and Jessica fighting over those Amazon boxes. He's, like, cursing and throwing the Amazon boxes around,
Oh, I'm
and she's like,
scared.
"Mm."
Oh, I'm very scared for her.
Now, I will say an Amazon box can be deceiving. Like, I received a pretty big one today, and it literally had a little, like, cooking brush in it.
Why do they do that?
I don't know, it drives
Somebody
me
help me
crazy.
understand because it happens here too.
Drives me crazy. I know that I should not order things like that. I try
Mm,
not to. I try to do bulk orders, but why couldn't you just shove the brush into an like a plastic envelope and send
yeah,
it? I don't know.
right. I don't know.
Anyway,
Do better,
um
Amazon. Do
And now
better.
we see Joseph creating art and he gets an exhibit at a gallery.
I know.
And I looked it up and this was like an actual thing and he got a little
Yeah.
write-up in the paper.
How cute. Our
It's
little
really
boy
nice.
Joseph. Our
It's
little
really
hottie.
nice. Yeah, I think maybe he could do a YouTube. He's so well spoken
He
and so
really
nice to
is.
look at. Maybe he could do a YouTube video where he teaches art
I would
and
pay for that.
monetizes the YouTube channel.
I would pay for that.
I'd pay for it.
Yeah, I would.
$5 a month, I'd give it up.
Hell yeah, I would too.
Mhm.
I mean, I would show up to one class.
You would go to
Maybe.
his class and I would have to look for you after because you'd be in the alley trying to lure him to your car.
100%. Yes. I'd be out there with all the candy and cookies and
Yep,
here,
yep,
little
yep.
boy. Oh God, that sounded terrible.
All right, guys. We've said it all. Short
Ah,
one for you, but not much
yeah,
happened.
not much. Not
Mm-mm.
much.
So again, stay tuned for our crossover coming up. Well, we can announce it because it'll be recorded by the time this drops. So
Okay.
we are recording with Sarah Colonna and Mary Radzinski from Are You My
Yay.
Podcasters. Very excited to meet them.
So freaking excited. Do you
So
know that
excited.
their podcast is one of the first podcasts that I ever listened to?
Yeah, I've been listening to them cover maps
Mhm.
forever.
Me too.
Yes. Yep.
Same. The
So
best.
we're gonna be chatting all things Married at First Sight this season.
I
So
can't
like
wait. I'm so
what is
excited.
going on? What is wrong with these trash people? What's
Mhm.
happening?
Mhm.
Why is Castor Pal a
Castor.
misogynist?
Oh man.
Things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I mean, I've loved Sarah Colonna since she was on Chelsea lately. So
oh
I
yeah,
love Chelsea
yeah.
Handler.
I don't
But
love
yeah,
Chelsea Handler.
she's
Yeah.
one of my faves. I know.
Guys,
Not
I
for
have a
everybody.
problem. I don't love Chelsea Handler. Is it
That's
just me?
okay.
I feel
Yeah,
like this is divisive though.
totally
I feel like
is.
most people love her,
Oh, I totally disagree with
and
that.
I'm probably one of the people who don't like her.
No, I disagree with you. I think I'm one of the few people that likes her, and most people don't.
Again, I think she's a good human, just
Yeah.
not into her comedy.
Oh, I love her.
Not into it.
I love her. That's okay.
All right, guys, we love you. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Love your bones.